With core design being released of the Tomb Raider property, it came down to Crystal Dynamics to produce a new adventure and get the series back on track.
So taking inspiration from modern adventure games, Crystal Dynamics produced Tomb Raider Legend in 2006.
Taking more than just a few inspirations from the Prince of Persia, Legend revamped the controls, making for a smoother, less awkward experience, says Dexter Morrington. The story followed Lara's search for her mother and the Sword of Soul Calibur. Yeah!
No. The Excalibur. The Sword Excalibur.
Yeah, my bad.
The game met with the strongest critical reception since Tomb Raider 2. It sold 4.5 million copies and brought Lara Croft back into the light of contemporary audiences.
The game's major flaw was too short.
Tomb Raider, The Action Adventure, 2006.
No, this wasn't a secret game, but rather an interactive DVD that took audiences through a simplified version of the Tomb Raider The Angel of Darkness. It used recorded footage of the PC version and had players navigate the game through the up, down, left, right, and enter keys to perform various actions. It was marketed towards people who never played games before. But honestly, that's silly, as this would only appeal to gamers.
Also, it just sounds silly.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Tomb Raider Anniversary, 2007.
It had been over 10 years since the original Tomb Raider, and what better way to celebrate than to remake the original that started it all.
Started it all. Crystal Dynamics used the improved Legend engine, remaking all of the old environments from the original game. Originally, core design was to remake the game and include new features and levels such as pole swinging and an extended final level where Lara battled an Atlantean war machine.
Atlantean war machine.
Oh.
What did the Disney movie Atlantis teach you? Of course, they were no longer allowed to produce a Tomb Raider game, and so it never happened. The game was well received by critics, with some saying it was better than the original. Unfortunately, it only sold 1.3 million copies, making it the least successful Tomb Raider game in the franchise.
So far.
Even lost the best one.
Re-envisioned Tomb Raider, the animated series, 2007.
Lara Croft gained some sort of weird animated series. Each episode was done in a different animation style, such as a Disney-esque one, a Saturday morning one, and even an anime one. This caused criticisms as it was created confusion and storylines were considered rather thin, like paper.
Only 10 episodes were ever produced. Good. Tomb Raider Underwear, 2008.
Aha, Tomb Raider Underwear.
Tomb Raider Underworld, 2008.
Crystal Dynamics continued their successful run of Tomb Raider with Underworld.
The game reinforced the gameplay mechanics from the previous two games with some new snazzy features, like melee combat and a motorbike.
Lara Croft was also fully motion captured by Olympic gymnast Heidi Moneymaker in order to make her character more believable.
Underworld received mostly positive reviews, with its graphics and less linear style of play being heavily praised. However, it's its haywire camera angles and dodgy combat system that were not liked.
Despite its good reviews, the game failed to meet expectations, selling only 1.5 million copies worldwide.
Although between December 2008 and February 2009, it sold a healthy 2.6 million units. What's happened to the gamers? From 4 million to just 2 million. Where did they go?
I don't know.
Where did they go?
Why did they not buy Anniversary? Why?
Yes, why?
Why?
Didn't they want to celebrate?
Exactly.
Or did they not know the game was out? Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, 2010.
Lara entered the digital scene with a new isometric arcade-inspired adventure. The game featured co-op and allowed you to play with a friend as a tribesman I like to call Totek.
Dex, his name is Totek, and he's not a tribesman. He's a Guardian of Light who took the form of a stone...
Did you get turned to stone? What happened?
Huh? Oh, statue. Stone statue.
Oh, okay.
He was also voiced by Jim Cummings. Yes, Jim Cummings! Yes, Jim Cummings!
Aye.
The multiplayer had a heavy focus on teamwork, letting players work together, such as Lara being able to jump on Jim's shield, or Lara making tightropes from Mr. Cummings to tightrope across.
The game received overwhelming positive reviews, stating its story is cheesy nonsense, but Lara is as cool as ever.
It was also considered visually impressive, and we would have to agree.
Hell yeah.
Jim Cummings would definitely approve. Tomb Raider 2013.
After a successful run of games, Crystal Dynamics decided to reboot the series. Why? No idea. This time, the game is far more story-focused, following Lara's origin story and how she grew up from a frightened young woman to a hardened survivor.
The story is indeed a far more gritty take on the character, including an attempted rape scene, which was surrounded in controversy, resulting in the game receiving the first ever M rating for the series.
Meanwhile, the gameplay has been pushed up to modern standards, with it bearing more than a striking resemblance to Naughty Dog's Uncharted series.
Which is a bit ironic, since Uncharted essentially...
Copy Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Upon release, Tomb Raider has received very strong reviews, with critics praising Laura's characterization, and the depth of the gameplay on offer.
However, the multiplayer by far has received the most criticism, with practically everyone feeling it is lackluster and just a throwaway afterthought.
With the new game riding high on critical successes, the future looks bright for Lara Croft, even if some might complain that the survival stuff is a little off of what the series was all about.
I don't know, Tomb Raider always had that survival horror feel about it. Still, the franchise has had mostly success, making for another happy ending to our complete histories. Now let's keep it up with one of my personal favorites. What's that? Star Fox? No, you behemoth! Rayman!